Okay, so I've got my butter, my hands are nice and cold, just washed them, make sure they're really dry though, otherwise all the flour's going to stick. So what we're going to do is going to reach to the bottom and then we're just going to run our fingers, our thumbs, through the back of the fingers just once and then let it drop. We're going to keep doing that and eventually it all goes breadcrumbs. It don't normally take too long, but you don't want to just keep your hands in there because it will burn it and it will all stick together. Then when you try rolling it out, it will just fall apart. So I'm just lifting, getting right down to the bottom and then running it through, mixing the flour and the marge up at the same time. And eventually it will go like breadcrumbs, like golden yellow breadcrumbs. The traditional method recipe is using butter or lard, and it makes it thicker, not thicker. It makes it, because of the fat in it, it makes it less likely to crack. It makes it a richer pastry. So I'm getting right down to the bottom of my bowl. Could have probably done with a bigger bowl, to be fair. So already it's beginning to go like breadcrumbs. Let's go through it. You don't want any big lumps of butter or marge in there. So a little tip for this bit is if you bang it, it helps bring the lumps back up to the surface, so it allows you to mix it. So I've got 400 grams of flour, 200 grams of butter or marge, because I'm making 2 quiches. So I'll divide this into 2 and then we'll make the quiches out of it. So as you can see, it's all coming together nicely. It's all breadcrumby. Next time, note to self, definitely a bigger bowl. So you don't want to really crush it in with your hands because it'll also bind, but then when you try rolling it, it'll just be too short, it'll fall apart. So you want to keep it nice and breadcrumby if you're able. There we are, so we're pretty much there. Just last few times, make sure there's no massive lumps in there. Okay, now to bind it all together, you only need a couple of spoonfuls of water, tablespoons, but you're better off adding it bit by bit, and I was using my hands for it. So I've got a couple of tablespoons in there, but I'm just going to use a little bit at a time, and then just mix. So a bit more. So I don't want to really crush it in together. It will start coming together in its own right in a minute. It's beginning to go now. A bit more. So once it starts forming into a dough, you can then start pushing it all together to form into a dough ball. So it's still a bit dry, a bit more water. So there it is. You can tell if it's dry or not. Let's clean my finger. If it's too wet, when you stick your finger into the dough, it should come out relatively clean. So that's not too bad. If anything's a little bit dry, so I'm going to put in a little bit more water, like so. You don't want to crush it around too much because it'll again have a bad effect on the pastry. So just bring it in when you're happy. So again, clean my finger up, and then just stick that into the dough. It should come out relatively clean, and there's your pastry. So what you want to do before you roll it is you want to put it in the fridge for about 10 minutes to allow it to the gluten to ease and the marge to half firm up again. So I'm going to do that, clean up, and then I'll be back.